Hello and thank you for tuning into Millennium Movies. So today's video I'm going to be talking about some brand new images and some brand new story details that we have for Stranger Things Season 3, which is now about a month and a week away for us, so not much longer of a wait. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So this very first picture that you can see right here, we see Steve and Dustin are they're looking at some binoculars. They're trying to stay a little bit of stay hidden behind the flowers, and it looks like what's going on here is they could be spying on someone in the food court. Now, as for who that person or persons could be, well, I have a little bit of a theory that perhaps they're spying on some new government type of bad guys, similar to how in season 1, where Brenner and his men were all posing as power and light technicians, right, in those vans. Well, I think the same could be possible for what's going on here in the mall, because I think that if you remember in the trailer, there's this one specific shot of this man in a mask getting electrocuted and blown back, right? Well, I think that it's possible that perhaps instead of the new lab, right? Instead of the new lab, since it got closed down at the end of season 2, perhaps some type of government officials are conducting experiments underneath the mall, right? Because remember, the mayor is supposed to be like this shady sort of person and character inside of Stranger Things Season 3. So perhaps he is in charge of the government running these kind of secret experiments under the mall. And perhaps, Steve and Dustin, they're very, very, very smart characters, and they have a history with people posing as people who they're not, right? So perhaps they could be spying on some suspicious people, or it could even just be something as simple as maybe they're spying on Robin, who's the co-worker who works with Steve at Scoops Ahoy. So, it could be any one of those two things. But the brand new photo right along with that is we see Eleven and we see Mike are both chilling on the bed. This is probably Eleven's room, and Mike's reading some type of 1985 gamer magazine. That's pretty cool. So this is just a nice photo, I guess, showing us that they're probably going to spend a lot of time with each other this season. Of course, they are a brand new couple for the show. But one thing that I wanted to talk about, going into the story details, going back to Steve and Dustin, is apparently Gaten Matarazzo, who plays Dustin, said that we're definitely going to be seeing more screen time for the bromance between Steve and Dustin. And he also mentioned that that's what he really likes about Matt and Ross, the Duffer Brothers, is that they know what the fans like and they roll with it. So he's saying that we're definitely going to be seeing more of them together. And another thing that I wanted to bring up that the Duffer Brothers also said is that they wanted to explore this theme of change, and basically they're saying that the season takes place during the last summer before high school, so the kids are growing up, and that transition is going to be messy and awkward and painful. And he wanted to explore, the possibilities of, are they able to grow up without growing apart? So that sort of leans into something that I mentioned all the way back in my Stranger Things Season 3 predictions and hopes video, which you can actually find on the channel. But I mentioned the possibility that the way that they ended Season 2, with the way they sprinkled in these little hints, again, now I'm not the Duffer Brothers, but I am a writer, so I can notice these I can notice these things in a script where you can see that the writer's placing hints for future references, and certain little things like with Dustin at the end of the snowball dance in season 2, when Nancy is telling him, hey, you're gonna basically drive all these girls wild and stuff like that, and with Dustin hanging out with Steve more and wanting to be like Steve and want to get pointers from him, I think that it sort of hinted at a rift possibly between the group. And as you can see, definitely in these pictures as well, you don't see Dustin in any of these pictures with the rest of the kids, right? Like in this one, you can see that the kids are all sitting around with Eleven possibly trying to use her powers for some purpose we don't know yet. But you can see the one kid missing from that group is Dustin, and even in this later photo that you can see right here, Dustin is still not present, but we can see that that they're hanging out with Nancy and Jonathan. Maybe maybe they decide that they need to team up. Maybe they're trying to find some suspicious stuff that's going on around town. But even in these behind-the-scenes photos, you can see again here Mike is hanging out with Steve and Nancy, and my goodness, Mike is Finn Wolfhard has grown very, very tall. It's almost crazy how much he's grown. But looking at this picture as well, you can see that again Steve is hanging out with Dustin, and Robin is there with him as well. And it's funny that her name is Robin, considering that Dustin's kind of the Robin to Steve's Batman. But yeah, it looks like more often than not, it looks like we're probably going to be seeing Dustin hang out more with Steve and Robin as opposed to with the rest of the kids. I think that the rest of the kids are probably going to be doing their own thing, and he'll be chilling with Steve for the majority of the season. And as for the kids too, I think that there we could even see a bit of a rift going on with the kids, of course, with Mike being with 11, Lucas being with Mad Max. I think Will could end up finding himself to be the odd man out. It's certainly hinted in the season 3 trailer. I hope that's not the case. I hope that in the end they do remain close friends, because that's like the most important part of the show, right? Is these characters are all very close to each other and their family. But moving on from these characters, I did want to touch up on another story point that the Duffer Brothers picked up on, which is that the the Mind Flayer is not gone. They said that while 11 closed the gate, the Mind Flayer is still alive, and he's gonna find another way into Hawkins. It's just a matter of time. So at the end of the season 3 trailer, we did see the introduction of a brand new monster of some sort from the Upside Down, or could it even possibly be a mutated Billy? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But it's definitely nice to know that the Mind Flayer is still going to play a part in season 3. So it looks like we could have a possibility of seeing multiple monsters instead of just the new creature, which in and of itself is already pretty damn cool. But we're going to be seeing this brand new gigantic creature, perhaps some return of the Demogorgon or some Demodogs, as well as the Mind Flayer, and perhaps it's building an army to combat against 11 and the characters of Hawkins, Indiana. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's about it for this video. I think the last thing that I had here was this photo of 11 and Mad Max hanging out, which is pretty cool to know that they're going to be spending a lot of time together. I think that that's probably the way you want to do it. Again, with the only 2 girls in the show, not women, but the girls. I'm not talking about like Joyce or Nancy, but the girls. We have 4 boys, so I think that it's important that you have them instead of being enemies, like which way we saw at the end of season 2, where 11 didn't want to shake Mad Max's hand. I think that this is probably more important, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a bit of that, that friendship blossom throughout the series, because we also seen this photo here from behind the scenes that they're going to go to the mall together and spend some time, and probably have maybe they could even have a whole episode dedicated to themselves, or half an episode of just them going around doing stuff and having fun. So yeah, I think that that's pretty cool. I can't wait to see what we get for the season. I really can't. I just can't wait. Season 3 of Stranger Things is going to be mind blowing. I cannot wait. Once again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you guys hyped as much as I am? Because I certainly am, and I can't wait for the new season to drop. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'd love to have a conversation with you guys. But until next time, this has been Millennial Movies, and I will see you all very soon.